One.
Good morning,
Hello.
everybody.
Hello
How are
and
you?
welcome to Cooking with Becky. We are so excited here at the O'Neill Center and the Belfry Senior Center to have our former Belfry manager doing our lovely cooking every week, bringing us wonderful recipes. Thank you, Becky.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And hi to everybody out there. Hope you're having a good summer. And I hope you're enjoying all the fresh produce right now. So as I start off every cooking club is with water. Remember to drink that water.
It's a good thing.
It is. Keep yourself hydrated. If you get out there and you get to feel a little dizzy, make sure you get inside, drink you some cold water and rest in the cool for a while, because has been hot. Has been. Well, today we have Connie with us instead of Bonnie. So I welcome Connie to the cooking show, to the cooking club. And I'd like to give a shout out to one of our cooking club members. Today is Lynn's birthday, Lynn Berry. So happy birthday, Lynn.
Happy birthday, Lynn.
Yeah, yay. Another birthday, yay. I want to talk a little bit, start off today with my apron. I believe this apron was my grandmother's, which my mother's, the one that raised my mother. And aprons used to be a big thing for that generation and maybe some of your generation. The apron was always used in the kitchen when they were getting ready for dinner or guests, and they would have an apron on. Sometimes they had two aprons on, but the apron on the outside usually came off because it was all stained up in the front. And they'd have a nice apron for company underneath, or they would have their nice clothes. So I think aprons need to come back in style again.
What a nice thing. You know, Becky, I remember seeing my grandma's apron always hang there in the kitchen. She always had it hanging nearby. It's one of the things I remember about her every time we would go there.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of good memories of my grandma. Matter of fact, I really can't remember her without an apron. I think even when she went in the garden, she would pull it up in the front and put all of her vegetables down in the front. So a little bit about aprons. Okay, as we usually do, we're going to start off with dessert. As you all know, I've been trying to lose a few pounds, and one of the things that's my downfall is if I bake a cake, I eat a cake, or at least I eat half of it and try to give the rest of it away. So today's recipe for dessert is a 1 mug cake. So you're going to do it in 1 coffee mug. In that way you get your piece of cake, but there's no more in the house. So you're not tempted to eat it. So this is really handy. I've been doing this when I feel like I need something. It's simple, it's sort of low cal. Of course, it's got butter in it, you know, but at least you're not eating more than you need. So let's get started with this. Today, we're doing a vanilla mug cake. And with this vanilla mug cake recipe, you can add in whatever you want. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing you put in your little coffee mug is 1/4 cup of flour, and I've already got that measured out. And then you add 1½ teaspoons of flour. So let's add that in. This is just all-purpose flour, 1½ And then to that, you want to add baking powder. Very important to let the cake rise. Now you only do 1/4 teaspoon of that. These recipes will be up online, so make sure if you missed this, you can go back and get the recipe. Okay, and to this, we're going to put just a dash of salt. So just a dash, just a little pinch. And then I'm just going to sort of stir this up with a little whisk or a fork, get it all mixed up. And then to this, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Now you could probably go ahead and do vegetable oil if you wanted instead of butter. It's totally up to you. You could probably even do maybe some applesauce, still keep the moisture. Probably wouldn't raise as much, but you could still do that. I'm going to add a little vanilla, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Now, when I do mine, my favorite is is a coconut almond. It's the same recipe, except instead of vanilla, I put a little almond extract. So let's also do 3 tablespoons of milk. And that's your moisture. So we have 3 tablespoons of milk. And we're going to stir that with a spoon. And you just want to stir it up to make it look like cake batter. So we get all that flour incorporated. Now you can stop here and just have your vanilla cake. Or you can add in. I don't know if you can see, it's just like cake batter. So it looks just like cake batter. I think this one, what I'm going to add into this one, I've got some little mini chocolate chips. So I'm just going to do a couple pinches of the little mini chocolate chips. Stir that up. And I think that's all I'm going to do with that.
It looks so good, Becky. You know, a lot of times with my frosting, instead of adding vanilla, I will add the almond. And what a unique flavor it has, and just a little bit different.
It does. Lick my finger. Oh, I forgot. Supposed to put sugar in there. That did not taste sweet. Let me go get my sugar.
Well, now that's a good thing to forget if you're trying to reduce the calories, right, Becky? I don't know if you can do that.
It's not very tasty, though. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of sugar. No wonder it tasted so bland. 2 tablespoons of sugar. Better late than never, right?
What a fun idea. I love this. Because you're right. We always have too much cake left over.
Yeah. And you know, I'm so tempted to eat it, and that's the problem. That sugar stirred in there just fine. Now, if you didn't want to do the sugar, you could always put a sugar substitute. If you put the applesauce in there in place of the oil, like say, it probably wouldn't raise as much, but you would have a little sweet with the applesauce. So you can always do that. Okay, what you do when you got it all mixed up, it's just a cake batter down there in the bottom. You stick this in the microwave. I do mine for 90 seconds. And when you're done, you let it rest in the microwave for 1 minute. And here's what I've already done. This is my almond. I've got almonds on top, almond flavoring in it, and then I've got a little bit of coconut. And I'm telling you what, this is really good.
You know, Becky, what a nice gift that would be for someone, you know, especially right, you know, because everybody else, you might not want to take the cake pan and something. You could just get a little inexpensive mug and share that as a gift.
Yeah, you could actually do all the ingredients too for them, and you know, put it in little containers in there. That would be a nice little gift. And with the recipe, so yep. But this keeps me from eating more than I should. This is really just a serving, and that's what we all need to do, is just a serving.
Great idea. And we love the dessert first.
Bonnie and I joke about that, because at the Belfry Senior Center, we always ate our dessert first. So today we're going to do a tomato tart. And I thought, with that tomato tart, I think I need a salad. So I'm just going to do a simple salad. I'm going to talk a little bit about the ingredients I put in there. I'm going to start with just some greens. I bought these at the grocery store. It's just like an oak leaf lettuce, a couple lettuces, and I'm just going to chop those up. So just chop those up. All the lettuce is so fresh right now. I just love it. So let me toss that oak leaf. It's a red oak leaf. And I think this is just a green oak leaf lettuce.
Looks delicious.
Look at that crisp. Oh. And you know, in our diets, with me trying to lose a few pounds, we're supposed to keep vegetables in our diet. Actually, about 60% of your diet should be vegetables, fruit and vegetables. And it just keeps the body working. This is where all of our nutrients are. So I always try to add a salad. Okay, I've got my greens cut up. what else have I have here? I got a zucchini. It's just a raw zucchini. We talked about that last week about using it just like that. It needs used up, so I'm just going to slice it. I don't like cucumbers, so this sort of replaces that for me. You could put cucumbers in there because there's cucumbers all over the place right now.
As are zucchinis.
As are zucchinis. You know, you get creative when you try to use up all your zucchinis. Okay. I have an avocado. I love avocado. And we talked about this last week, how to cut an avocado. You just go around it, twist it, and there's a pit in there. Then you just take your knife and score the avocado flesh. And then I'm going to pop that out with a spoon. I'm just going to pop that into my salad. You just go around the skin, and it comes out just perfect.
What yummy flavors.
Yeah, yummy. I haven't got to yummy yet.
Looks delicious.
Today, because we're doing the tomato tart, I've got some tomato. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle on some tomato. And I've got different kinds of tomatoes today. And then on top of that, I think I'll sprinkle some egg. I like egg. This is a Becky salad. We sprinkle in some egg. And then this is the closer. I was grocery shopping the other day, and don't you love a sale, right? I found my favorite cheese on sale. I found goat cheese. Connie, have you ever eaten goat cheese?
Oh my gosh, it is delicious. I love goat cheese.
I do too. So I found a big log of goat cheese. So I'm going to sprinkle some goat cheese on this one. This is definitely mine. Goat cheese, if you've never eaten it, is a little tangy, a little tart, but man, is it good.
So good.
It is so good.
And what a
and then
nice
I think
flavor.
on the top of, look at that.
Yeah, what a nice flavor to add to a salad. Look how delicious. You would have some explosive flavors in there with the avocado and everything. It just looks so good.
Makes your mouth water, doesn't it?
I must be hungry already.
And then to top that off, I'm going to add a little sweet. I've got a thing of blueberries. So I'm going to top this with some blueberries. Now and that'll sort of level out that tanginess of the goat cheese. So it'll be really good. So there's our salad today.
You could rename that a Connie salad. I would take that.
I have to meet you halfway.
Oh.
Okay, so we've got our dessert done. We've got our salad done. And the last thing we're going to do is our tomato tart. Oh, look, I forgot my red onion. Got to put a few red onions on there.
Yeah, don't forget that.
Really? I talked last week about the herbs that are in my garden. And I do have some right now. The animals didn't get them all. Here's a few that I have. I have basil, and today the tomato tart, we're going to put basil on top of it. So I have basil. I have some parsley. I have very little parsley. I've got some parsley, and I've got some dill. Now, this isn't my dill, because my dill the animals got. But I did get this at the store, but fresh dill. And, oh, I love the smell of dill. So let me sort of go over, someone asked how do you use this stuff. Fresh basil, this is what I use fresh basil for. Actually, I put it, I think, in everything because I love basil. But it goes very well in eggs. Anything Italian, your pastas, you can do it on appetizers. You can put it in vegetable soup. Tomatoes, mozzarella, and basil with a little olive oil drizzle is so good. You can put this on pizza and fish and seafood. Today we're going to put this on our tomato tart. Now parsley, parsley is one of those things that it sort of goes with everything. You can put it in salad dressings, soups, salads. You can put it on your grilled vegetables and pasta. It goes real well with roasted potatoes, so that's really versatile. Dill's wonderful. I've used the last couple cooking shows. I put it on our salmon last week. So you can put this on salmon. I love it in my potato salad, and I love it. I make a potato soup that I put it in. It's wonderful. Just wonderful.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I know. I love dill. Lamb, it sort of switches up that flavor a little if you ever eat lamb. Fish, baked potatoes, cucumber salad, it's really good in. So that's a little bit there. Let's go back to the tomato tart. Okay, the tomato tart, the recipe online, it does give you a recipe for your own dough. I did make the dough for the one I put in the oven earlier, but in case you don't want to make your own dough, you can always just use a button pie crust. I asked my husband earlier, I was looking for my tart pan because it's called a tomato tart. And he says, what's the difference between a tart pan and a regular pie pan? So I'll show you, whatever I did with it, there it is. I'll show you what the difference is. This is a tart pan, and then a pie dish is usually a little thicker. So a tart pan is just more shallow. So you can use a pie dish, it's not a problem. And my tart pan, actually the bottom comes out and makes it really easy to get it out. Okay, so I've got a pie, just a regular pie crust. It was frozen. I thawed it out, and once it was thawed, I put it back in the refrigerator, keep it cold. And in the bottom of this, last night, I took my garlic, and a garlic bulb is this big thing altogether. A clove is just one of the little pieces. So you want the garlic bulb. I just cut the top of it off and put it on a piece of aluminum foil, and I drizzled it with olive oil, and I wrapped that all up, put it in the oven for about 40-45 minutes, and it bakes. That garlic bakes. And I've heard it becomes garlic butter. So let me show. I'm just going to squeeze this out, and look at this stuff come out. It's just like butter. Look at that stuff. It's just like butter, and it's so good. If you don't like garlic, you'll like this because it's real mild, but it comes out just like butter.
I've never heard of this, Becky.
No?
No.
Well, you can use this on the bottom of your pizzas. You can put it in salad dressings. It's just wonderful. You can put it on sandwiches. Okay, I'm making a mess. There's probably a little more in there, but I'm not going to squeeze any more out.
Well, I use a lot of garlic, but I've never heard of doing that. So I'm going to have to try this.
So what it does is roasted garlic. It sort of tames that garlic flavor. You still get the garlic taste, but the flavor is just another depth. It's just wonderful. So Connie, you will have to try this.
I will.
So I have my garlic squeezed out. I'm just going to mash it and make it look like butter. And then what we're going to do with this is I'm going to put this in the bottom of my pie shell. So I'm just going to scoop it out just like butter, and I'm going to get a spatula, and I'm just going to butter the bottom of my crust with it. Just imagine what this would taste like on pizza too. Mm. So I'm just buttering the bottom of my pie dish. Okay, I've got that done. The recipe, you know, I always make everything my own. This is actually a Martha Stewart recipe, but I tweak it a little. It calls for a fontina cheese. Well, I couldn't find that at the grocery store. So I actually ended up getting Gouda cheese. Now, you don't even have to use Gouda cheese. I have used Swiss cheese in this, and it works just fine. So mozzarella is a little stringy. So if you put mozzarella, just know that it's going to be a little stringy. But the cheeses like Gouda, Swiss cheeses, harder cheeses works really well. So this is actually Gouda. So I'm going to take about a half a cup, and I'm going to sprinkle in the bottom of my pie crust.
Is there ever a bad cheese? I don't think I've ever found one.
I don't think so either. So in the bottom of the pie crust, I've got my cheese spread. Now I'm going to save half my cheese. There's a cup of cheese here. I'm going to save half my cheese for the top after it's baked, or baked at least a half hour. Okay, now I have these lovely tomatoes. Look at those. I have yellow tomatoes, green tomatoes. I've got this this heirloom tomato. It's sort of a red and pink. It's really pretty. And I've, of course, got some really dark red ones. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to finish slicing up one of my red ones. I've got a little tomato knife, and I don't know if you guys can see that. It's got little teeth on one side, and it cuts through a tomato so easy. Look at this. You got to get your tomato knife. It just slices right down through that tomato. You want your tomatoes a little firm. Look at that, yummy. Yummy, yummy. Look at those slices. Aren't those wonderful? Okay.
So many people have the excess tomatoes from their gardens right now. So what a nice idea.
They do. Or you can go to one of the farmers markets and get a lot of fresh tomatoes. What I do with my tomato pie, if you put the tomatoes directly on there, it's going to get a little soupy. So I usually take a paper towel and I just sort of dab my tomatoes. Just sort of take some of the moisture out of them.
Oh, it looks so good.
So I'm just going to dab some of that moisture out of them. And then what I'm going to do with my tomatoes is I'm just going to arrange them in a circular, just in a circle. So I got a red tomato, I put a yellow tomato, let me get a green tomato, and let me do one of these pink tomatoes. And then I'll just rotate around. I'll just do different colors. And you just overlap them slightly. So you just want to slightly overlap them. And let me put something special right in the middle. Let me do, I'll do this pink one right in the middle. Okay, look at that. You see that?
So good.
Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, it is so good.
I could eat it just like that.
Oh, I'm not done with it yet. Okay, tomatoes, I'm just going to do a little salt and pepper. Just sort of, you know, lightly salt and pepper them. You just want a little bit of flavor on there. And then I'm going to drizzle them with some olive oil. Just about a tablespoon or so. This is a smaller dish. So just drizzle with a little olive oil. Okay, so here's what we have. We just have our tomatoes with the salt and pepper. The cheese is underneath and with that wonderful garlic mixture. And I'll stick this in a 425-degree oven, and I'll bake this for 30 minutes. As soon as the 30 minutes is up, the tomatoes have cooked a little. So at this time is when you want to put on the rest of your cheese. So you take it out of the oven, you sprinkle the cheese on top, you put it back in for 30 more minutes. Now you want to be careful your crust doesn't burn. And of course, again, I have a handy gadget. This is you put over your pie crust, it's just a circle, it's aluminum, and you put it down over your pie crust like that, and it won't burn, which I like that. So you cook it for 30 minutes, pop it out, put the rest of your cheese, put it back in the oven for another 30 minutes, and let me show you what it looks like when it comes out.
So where do those fresh herbs come in, Becky?
We're about to get there.
All right.
All right. Okay, and here is our tomato tart baked.
Oh,
isn't that gorgeous?
Good. Yes, it is.
Okay, we're going to do fresh basil today. Tomato and basil is just married companions. They're so good together. So my basil, I'm just going to pick off the leaves. Just pick some of those leaves off. And this smells so good. I just love basil. I make a pesto out of my basil too that's really good. So we'll have to do that sometime. Okay. And what I'm going to do with my basil is I usually find the biggest piece and just sort of gather them up and wrap them. And then I'm going to cut them up here. Oh, and that smell, that basil. I think basil has just a little spiciness to it or something. It's just wonderful. Okay, so I have all this wonderful basil. So let's just sprinkle this over our tomato tart.
Mm.
Oh yeah, yum. Oh,
My mouth is watering.
so there it is with the basil on top. Look at that. Isn't that
Beautiful,
gorgeous?
Becky. Very beautiful.
And it's still warm. So I hate to do this to you, Connie. I do it to Bonnie every week, but I'm going to cut this up and put it on a plate and tell you how good it tastes.
Oh, I can't wait to see it cut and see what it looks like when you serve it.
I can't wait to eat it.
You know, Becky,
No.
we have a garden, so we're pulling tomatoes all the time, and I'm always looking for fun recipes to something different. And this is something
Yeah.
that I haven't done, so I'm looking forward to this. It might be dinner tonight.
It doesn't take long, especially if you buy your pie crust. It doesn't take long. Here's a slice of that. I don't know if you can see that or not.
It looks
I'll
very
put that on there.
good.
And then we're going to do some salad.
Mm.
We'll do me some salad. And this is a wonderful fresh lunch or supper. So let's do some salad. Well, look at all that avocado, yum. Now, if you wanted to on that salad, with the fresh herbs that I have left, you could always put on some fresh basil or whatever you want. Basil's in keeping with the theme. So there we are.
Mm.
There's lunch.
That is amazing.
Isn't that
And
wonderful?
Yes, it is. Nice and fresh.
It is fresh, and it's all what's out there right now. You know, the tomatoes. Oh my goodness! I went to the farmer's market yesterday, and oh, they had so many tomatoes. It was just beautiful, just beautiful. So just a second. Let me tell you what it tastes like.
Okay, this is the part we want to know. This is the important part.
Mm.
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 Delicious. Oh.
It's sort of like an over-the-top pizza.
Well,
It is so good.
think about all of the flavors you've got coming out of there, because you started with just a nice pastry crust. Then you have that garlic that was just garlic butter. Well, what could be better? And then when you bring in all of the different tomatoes from the different acidic levels that you had, you know, going from the green, the yellow, the pink, the red, you know, they all have that different flavor.
They do.
This is my favorite. Oh, I love a good pink tomato. And then when you top it with that fresh basil, just, oh, that is delicious. And all the cheese in it. Mm.
I say in the cheese, you know, you can't miss the cheese.
Oh, I bet those tomatoes and everything, just the flavors have to burst when you take a bite.
Oh, it's just your taste buds don't know where to go first, you know? And then the salad, when I get over there, those taste, you know, there's blueberries and there's the goat cheese and there's the onion and there's the lettuce. Again, I think when you excite your taste buds, I think that's what makes a good meal.
Absolutely. Well, you certainly have done a good job of exciting our appetites this morning, and starting with the cake, which, oh, I've got to try that too. That's a good idea. We'll limit my portion size. What a wonderful meal you have here for us to sample.
And this is very healthy. And of course, we want to keep everyone healthy, independent, and productive.
Living hip. It's what we
Living
want.
hip. Yeah.
Yes, that's a great thing. Becky, thank you so much for another wonderful cooking club. We love having you. We appreciate you so much. And oh, the flavors, I can feel them. I can taste them already. I can't wait.
Oh, this is just wonderful. I hope you enjoy it. So let me know, Connie, what it tastes like when you get it done.
I will. I will be making this. Poor Greg is going to have to eat this. Thank you, Becky. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.